Hello, I'm Alan Keays, and I'm joined today by Bruce Edwards, and we're here to provide you a look at some of the stories we're working on here at the Herald. Gordon Drusilla walked up and down Woodstock Avenue today to talk to businesses about what they think of how the road diet went, the shrinking of the lanes from 2 lanes each way to just 1 lane going each way with a center turning lane. I guess it's going back to the 2 lanes each way, and Gordon was talking to the businesses about what they think about that. Also in tomorrow's paper, we'll have a story about changes that were announced at DCF today. That's the Department of Children and Families. That's in the wake of the death of Desiree Sheldon. We've been following that story. Brent Curtis has been writing a lot about that story. And we'll also have a story about Brandon on our front page. They're coming up for a vote on Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah. So this is the third vote on the municipal budget that the school budget passed on the second try a month or so ago. The budget that's up for a vote on Tuesday is exactly the same budget that went down to a sizable defeat back in May. It's a $3.2 million budget, total budget, of which $2.6 million will be raised through local property taxes. This time around, there's also 3 optional spending plans voters will have, like a cafeteria plan voters can choose in addition to the main budget. There's an optional budget item for a reserve fund or a grant fund, a matching grant fund. There's one for an emergency fund in case something goes wrong, a major problem develops, and they have to dip into that. And there's also a fund up for voter approval to start a capital improvement program. I was talking to some people today. There's differing views on the budget. Some people say, the taxes are high enough, we can't afford any more. Brandon went through a lot of problems, a lot of damage as a result of Tropical Storm Irene 3 years ago. They had to dip into the reserve fund. They have no cushion anymore. They had a surplus fund like many towns do, a reserve fund. They also used that reserve fund over the last several years to keep the tax rate artificially low. And now between Irene and that, they're paying the price for not having a reserve fund any longer, and that's put pressure on the budget and on the bottom line for taxpayers. In fact, when you look at all the numbers, the town officials will tell you that the spending in the town is up only 2.25% from the current fiscal year's budget. That's not a lot. But people are paying taxes, and a lot of people feel they've just reached the breaking point. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how that budget goes on Tuesday. Voting hours Tuesday at the Neshobe School from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The night before that, Monday night, this coming Monday, is an informational meeting at 7 p.m. also at the Neshobe School. And just one other note, Brandon is the only town besides Fairhaven and Brandon, I guess, are the only 2 towns in the state that have not passed a municipal budget as of yet, and Fairhaven votes on theirs next month.
What happens if they don't pass a budget?
Well, that's a good question. They're looking at layoffs, looking at cutbacks in services. If there is no budget passed on Tuesday, Robin Bennett, the town manager, is going to ask the select board to hold an emergency meeting Wednesday night to discuss what options they have, which obviously on the table are layoffs, reducing the police force, recreation department. Everything's on the table Wednesday if the budget isn't passed.
Because I know in the schools, don't they have like a default budget of 85% or something like that if one is not passed?
They have no default budget. They have no money as of July 1st.
All right.
Okay.
Well, also in tomorrow's paper, we'll have a story about an assault that took place in Proctor. It was involved two women, and it involved when they were driving to Proctor. It occurred in the car. Gordon Drusilla has that story. Street Talk this week, where Brianna Allen asked people about what they thought of the clerk who pulled the gun on the guy who came into the store to try and rob it at Mac's convenience store, and he apparently has lost his job because the employees were not supposed to possess any firearms. So she got people's opinions about that, and a preview of the Great Race that's happening in Bennington. It's an antique kind of car show that's happening on Sunday. So let's look at some of the stories we're working on. Thanks for watching.